There could be a huge trade coming soon as the New York Knicks are targeting star players this summer to add to their team and to fully build a title contender, and we have to talk about it. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. Third video of day 3 of the offseason. We're still going strong. If you hear that siren in the background, that is the superstar siren, because the New York Knicks, they're taking big swings this summer. It is hot in New York, man. The New York Knicks consider this offseason as the time to trade for the next big name, according to everyone's favorite Fred Katz. And also, Fred is not his real name. If you want to know his real name, ask Mitchell Robinson. But as Katz mentions, it's not clear who that star will be yet. Even the Knicks don't know. And they are counting on one universal truth. In the NBA, someone unexpected always becomes available, and he mentioned guys such as Karl Anthony Towns, Paul George, and Donovan Mitchell as hypothetical options, and said the Knicks could also pounce for the Miami Heat or the Phoenix Suns star players such as Jimmy Butler or Devin Booker if one of those teams decides to make a major pivot. Now, separately, I think the Phoenix Suns are screwed 6 ways till Tuesday, and they might as well keep the same roster and hope it works. I don't know if I said the Sixers or the Suns, but I meant the Suns, even though the Sixers are never going to win anything either. But it's the same deal as the Miami Heat, except where they're not going to win anything, except they need to just absolutely blow this thing up. Trade Jimmy Butler for picks. There's a team out there that would give them to you, including the New York Knicks, by the way. There's a thing that goes around from fans that kind of makes people think that Jimmy Butler and Tom Thibodeau hate each other. No, they're very close. They pretend like they hate each other. Do you have that friend who you go up to and you see him, and the second you're hanging out, it's instantly all you is hurl insults at each other? My college roommate Mario and I, and my other college roommate Matt and I, will always do this to each other. Like, one of us just walks into the other's room, and it's just like, yo, what's up, man? It's like, well, nothing good now that your ugly face is in here. Stuff like that. It's usually a lot more filled with curse words that I'm not going to repeat on the air or I'd get canceled. But basically what I'm trying to say is that is the situation between Butler and Tom Thibodeau. It is very chill, down to earth, but they like to mess with each other because Tibbs believed in Jimmy Butler and Jimmy Butler believed in Tibbs, and they had a great thing together, and Tibbs helped Jimmy become an NBA superstar, and because of that, Jimmy always appreciates him. They have a very close relationship. Now, the only reason I'm not really going to go that far into the Jimmy Butler to the Knicks thing is because Pat Riley would sooner die than trade Jimmy Butler to the New York Knicks. He would send Butler right out of the Eastern Conference, and if Butler requested a trade, Riley would probably get mad and send him somewhere that Jimmy Butler doesn't want to go and just fully base it off the trade package. Like, say Portland offered them everything. He'd trade Jimmy Butler there and be like, sucks to be you. And that's just how it goes. He would never trade Butler to the Knicks. That's not happening. But there's a ton of options, such as Donovan Mitchell, who, according to Evan Sidery and Brian Windhorst, the Cavs remain optimistic that Donovan is going to stay with them and sign that 4-year, $209 million extension this offseason. And if Mitchell extends, likely Darius Garland will be leaving because those two clearly don't fit together. However, the whole team doesn't fit together. And I don't think Donovan's signing an extension. I think Donovan Mitchell is going to get traded. I do not think he will get traded to the Knicks, but he could because the Knicks have perennial interest in him. I think the Nets would want him more, and that would be terrible for us because that means no Mikal Bridges under any circumstances for the next few years, and we would hate that. But there's also the San Antonio Spurs, who would have a lot of interest in Donovan to pair him with Wemby. They could use that fourth, that eighth, both the fourth and the eighth pick, or maybe just one of them, and move some other picks and Keldon Johnson, and like if any other salary needs filling, which it doesn't because the Spurs have money, you move Keldon Johnson and 4 firsts for Donovan. That's what you do if you're the Spurs, and I think they should. Then they could potentially sign some low-end point guard so Donovan doesn't have to play the 1, and you still have Sohan and Wemby and Vassell and Donovan Mitchell as your veteran leader who's still only 27 or 28, and then you just get some point guard better than Trey Jones. Maybe you keep that 4th overall pick and just move the 8th one and take, what's-his-face? You take Nikola Topic, or you keep that 8th pick and you take Rob Dillingham if he's still there. I like Dillingham. I think he'll be a solid NBA player. Like, they got some options, and not to just go in on the Spurs for minutes and minutes now, but, like, I just don't. I think there's better fits for Donovan Mitchell than the Knicks, and I just don't think the Knicks are going to make the biggest package for him because of that. The Spurs and the Nets can theoretically offer better packages for Donovan Mitchell than the Knicks can. But the Knicks do have some of the most assets in the league, and they're the team that wants to move them the most. Because of that, they will always be at the front line of many trade conversations because teams know they can get assets and assets out of the Knicks so they can try to maximize these Jalen Brunson prime years that they have, which is the right move, by the way. But Donovan is real good. Put up 30 points per game in the playoffs this year. The man is a genuinely great player. And I wanted to show those playoff stats because it was on good efficiency also. The man balled out. I don't think he's going to go to the Knicks. I could probably eventually get behind it, but I think there's better options out there for the Knicks. Now, obviously, we did a whole video on Mikal Bridges. You can go check that out on our channel. We really break the whole thing down. Basically, Bill Simmons kind of just talked about how he thinks that the Knicks are going to overpay for Mikal. And Bill Simmons also said that he thinks that, or he thought that they were going to trade RJ for OG Anunoby, and then a week later they traded RJ Barrett for OG Anunoby. So Bill Simmons does know what he's talking about, for anyone wondering if that's not true. But there's also Devin Booker. And Stephen A. Smith said back in late April that Devin Booker wanted to be in New York to play for the Knicks. But a more recent report is against that from Zach Lowe, who, knows things better than Stephen A. Smith. And he said, I continue to hear there's no Devin Booker trade requests coming. Not in the foreseeable future. Now, Devin Booker, since being drafted to Phoenix, has kept the same mindset of, I don't care. I want to play in Phoenix my whole career. I see people walk around Phoenix still wearing Steve Nash jerseys. Mind you, this is back in 2015. And I want that to be me in 20 years. Well, it's been, 9 years since then, and Devin Booker's been one of the best players in Suns history. They're not going to trade him unless they absolutely have to, and they'd only absolutely have to trade him if they realize they're never going to win with him because it's him carrying an entire team, which he's sort of doing with the help of Kevin Durant right now. Or if Booker says, I'm out, I'm done, y'all failed me, I'm going, then forces James Jones' hand into moving him. They should have just traded Miles Turner and let DeAndre Ayton sign that deal with the Pacers, but whoops. I really think that the Knicks could get Devin Booker if they waited another year, but the salary cap gets real fishy after this year. They can still pull off a trade in 2025, but things get harder. I need to breathe. I'm really going right now. It's so hot, dude. But there's one more name. As Brian Windhorst said, the whole league is obviously watching what happens with Giannis. Certainly, the Knicks are one of them. Now, I am going to do an entire video on Giannis. This video is coming out a few hours after I film it. It's going to come out around 8 p.m. on Wednesday, May 22nd. Morning after, 9 a.m. Knicks talk. I'm dropping a Giannis video, so you definitely won't want to miss that out. So make sure you're subscribed separately. But, I think there's a lot of options for the Knicks. It's essentially why I'm kind of giving this almost just entire video basing it off of some Knicks trade targets. Someone is going to become available at some point. Someone, whether it's a contract thing, whether it's some internal reason that has nothing to do with the contract or the basketball team, someone is going to request a trade. You don't know who. It's always unexpected, but it will happen. And when that happens, the Knicks need to pounce. They have 8 tradable firsts. I mean, look, this is what Sham said right here. Basically what I was just saying. They're going to continue to be aggressive. They have 8 first-round picks they could trade. They're looking for a player if he's available. Julius is extension eligible. Jeez, I cannot talk right now. For 4 years, $181.5 million. And teams are monitoring that situation because the Knicks could use Julius as a trade chip if they so choose. They could also try to look for someone to pair with Julius by comparing or combining Mitchell Robinson's contract with Bojan Bogdanovich's and even Deuce McBride. You could add a few million. You got an Obi Toppin trade exception that expires in early July that you got to use. The Knicks have options, and they're going to do something because Leon Rose has always wanted to do some sort of trade. It's why he's stockpiled assets for years and years and years. They're not a team that drafts very often. They have the 24th and the 25th pick along with the 38th pick this year. I would bet anyone who wants to comment this down below and agree to this, I will bet $100 right now. I will send you it on PayPal if I'm wrong, but I will bet you $100 that the New York Knicks will not select both 24th and 25th overall, and if you see them wearing a Knicks hat, it's for a few moments before they get traded. I guarantee the Knicks make a draft night trade moving one of the 24th or the 25th pick because they know they don't want two rookies on the same contract to sit on the bench while Tibbs doesn't play him because the Knicks are way too deep right now that they're going to play multiple rookies. They're also a contending team, so they're just not going to play multiple rookies. You'll get one at most if he fits the Thibodeau mold, which also means he'll probably be 21 years old already. So that is very important to highlight if you are looking at this situation. I don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. Shams doesn't know what's going to happen with this trade. But there is a lot of trades that can happen. And I think something will. And that is what the entire NBA rumor circle has been saying, is that this is the summer that the Knicks make a trade. Guys, please subscribe. I need to, run my head under cold water. You can see I'm literally beat red. I'm sweating. I also look like I'm balding right there, so that's lovely. Happy Wednesday, guys. Go Knicks.